Hello and welcome to today's video. So today I've actually been tagged by the lovely Joe and Jasmine from It's the J Life to do the 20 question tag challenge. So it's as simple as it sounds. There's 20 different questions and I'm just going to be going through them and just sharing some of my favourite things with you. So thanks very much Joe and Jasmine for tagging me. So the plan is there are 20 different questions and for each I need to name 3 of my favourite things for all of those items. So the first thing actually is products, and probably at the moment my 3 favourite products are my Maybelline Sky High mascara. The second thing is probably my cleanser from Lush. It's like the popcorn one. It's called Let the Good Times Roll. Absolutely love that. And third of all is probably my MacBook, if I can count that as a product, but I don't think I could live without that. Oh, so next up we have got favourite foods. And this is always really hard, but if I had to probably eat one food every day for the rest of my life, it would probably be pizza. I also love like gummy sweets like Haribo and things like that for a bit of a treat. And the other thing is probably cheese, because who doesn't love a good cheese board, and cheese can pretty much go on anything as well. Next up is places. So I have been fortunate enough that I have visited quite a lot of places all around the world, but my number one place that I love most in the world is definitely Australia. I have been there a few times to a few different cities, so yeah, absolutely just love Australia. You've got everything there, you know, you've got cities, you've got nature, you've got beaches, you've just got everything really, and the weather is good. The second place is probably Berlin. So Tim and I have been there once, but I loved it there. I just thought it was a really like cool city. The food was really cool. There was like some more like hip areas we went to. We went to this pub where you could pull your own pints underneath like the railway arches, so that was really cool. And obviously there's a lot of history there, which we like museums and stuff, so we did a lot of that. But that's somewhere else I really like. And the final place is, I'm gonna say Toronto, because we went to see Niagara Falls when we were there, and despite the fact that it absolutely chucked it down, like torrentially rained, I had a really amazing time. It was really just breathtaking to see the falls. So next is things that I would miss. So this is a really easy one for me. So of course, number 1 is going to be my friends and family. Number 2 is going to be our cats, Audrey and Felix. And the final thing I would miss the most, maybe the internet. Is that bad to say? How things have been the last year, I think the internet's really helped keep people together. Oh, number 5, things I do when I'm bored. So I don't ever really get bored. I always feel like I'm doing something. And so work in the day, and then in the evenings I'm either like doing videos, editing, thinking about my next videos, you know, preparing dinner or doing things around the house. But I really like reading. I find that really relaxing. Over the past few weeks I've actually really got back into reading and managed to find some time to just sit and read, which has been really nice. Obviously, you know, like to watch a bit of TV and films and everything like that. And last thing is probably just go and play with the cats, or in their mind probably annoy them whilst they're trying to relax, especially in the hot weather that we have been having. But yeah, it's probably my top 3 things to do when I'm not doing everything that I need to do. Well, the next one is definitely very apt, because if you are in the UK like I am, you will know the past few days we've been having some kind of crazy heat wave. There's been weather warnings down here in the southwest for apparently the first time ever from the Met Office. So this next one here is things you like to do when it is sunny. Kind of following on from the last one, is one thing I like to do when it's sunny is just to sit outside and read a book. Normally I get too hot and then I have to move to the shade, and it's that continual cycle of 10 minutes in the shade, 10 minutes in the sun. I also really like to do a picnic outside when it's sunny. We're fortunate enough that We've got the beach really close to us. There's really nice parks and woods. There's actually a really nice park not too far from where we live as well. So it's always nice to just pack up a few sandwiches and nibbly bits and go for a nice picnic. And the last thing I like to do when it's sunny, probably have an ice cream. So yeah, that's probably my top 3 things to do when the weather is sunny. Right, favourite films. And again, this is a really hard one because I've seen a lot of films that I love, and then it's always, I always feel like when you're put on the spot, you name a film and then 5 minutes later you're like, oh actually, but I prefer this film, I prefer that film. But off the top of my head, probably one of the best films I've seen recently, or I say recently, probably over the last year, is Your Name. It's a Japanese film, anime style, that's on Netflix, and the story is just so clever. It's just a really beautifully done film. The soundtrack is incredible, and if you haven't seen it, I would definitely recommend it. Next film is, because I can't say all of the Studio Ghibli films, so if I had to pick one, probably Spirited Away. Again, it's just a really easy watch. I've seen it so many times that I just will have it on in the background whilst I'm doing other stuff around the house, and I still know everything that's going on. And then the final film, I suppose if I had to pick like a real cult classic, would be The Shawshank Redemption. Again, seen it so many times. I think it is such an amazing film, and I don't think I've ever got bored of watching it. Next up, so number 8, we have got top 3 songs. So I'm gonna sound really lame and say that I don't really listen to the radio. I don't really like a lot of new music because it's just not really my style. My kind of preferred genre of music is kind of like indie stuff. That's not to say that my Spotify playlist isn't full of like 80s music, 90s, cheese, movie soundtracks, you know, a bit of everything. But if I had to pick 3 songs that I could just listen to on repeat and not get bored of, the first one I'd have to say would be Love It If We Made It by the 1975. Next up would be Ophelia by the Lumineers, just another really great song. And the final one would be Sad Happy by Circa Waves. Actually, I like that whole album a lot, but that's probably my favourite song from that album. Oh, number 9, favourite brands. So I'm gonna have to say Apple for the first one because I have an iPhone, I have an iPad, I have a Mac. Tim's got a Mac, Tim's got an iPhone, I've got an iPod, so I'll be lying if I didn't say Apple. ASOS, probably because I buy a lot of stuff from there and I do really like their own brand items. I think the quality is good and the prices are always affordable. And then I suppose I probably should pick a makeup brand. I'm gonna say Makeup Revolution because they're really affordable and I think the products are really good quality. I do have quite a lot of stuff from there and I've been happy with everything. Well, I think we're pretty much halfway now. So number 10, outdoor things that you like to do. I mean, anyone who probably knows me knows that I'm not massively outdoorsy. Like, I don't really like going camping or anything like that. I like going for nice walks. If we're away somewhere, I like to just be out the whole time, just exploring and just, you know, wandering around and sightseeing. I quite like boat trips, I suppose, if that counts. We did a really cool boat trip actually when we were in Memphis along the Mississippi River. That was really cool. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it outdoorsy wise. I don't really like heights, so I wouldn't be like mountain climbing or like bungee jumping. I did do abseiling when I was a lot younger and it terrified me, so not massively outdoorsy in that sense. I don't really find the idea of going like hiking particularly appealing, but a nice walk or just a little explore, I'll be happy with that. Number 11, top events. Now I'm going to take this as events that either I've been to or would like to go to. So one thing I'd really like to do is to go to the Olympics, obviously not as an athlete, like as a spectator. And I know we hosted, or like London hosted the Olympics back in 2012, and kind of would have been cool to have got tickets to go and see some of the events. I probably would rather go abroad to see the events so I could make it into a holiday as well. So that would be my number 1 thing, that I think that would be really cool to go and see the Olympics somewhere. Number 2, I mean, if you can call it an event, I really like going to West End shows. Seen quite a few in London, so we've seen Mamma Mia, we saw Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, we saw Kinky Boots, we saw Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I've seen Wicked, we saw Matilda in New York. That was amazing. That was for Tim's birthday one year. And then the last event is going to sound a bit random as well, but I really like Christmas markets. I just like all the little stalls and the decorations, and you know, having like a hot chocolate, and just the atmosphere is really great. So yeah, if you can call that an event, I like going to Christmas markets. Number 12 is top cartoons. I don't really watch a huge amount of cartoons. To be honest, I don't really watch a huge amount of TV anyway. But I'd have to say my top cartoon would probably be The Simpsons. We often actually put it on Disney just whilst we're like having dinner, or just if we're kind of mulling around the house. It's just quite an easy watch. I do actually also quite like Bob's Burgers. I haven't seen a lot of it, but I think that's a good one. Oh, and Rick and Morty. We both got really into that actually. It's obviously a bit more of an adult cartoon than like The Simpsons and everything. But yeah, that would be my top 3 cartoons. Next up, we have got buildings. And my favourite buildings that I've been to, or just in general, I'm going to say the Sydney Opera House is amazing. I think it looks better from afar than like right up close, because you can obviously see it in all of its glory. The Louvre, I think, is a really cool building. The fact that it's just this big like glass pyramid, and then you obviously have to go essentially underground to go into the museum and the art gallery, I think is really cool. It's just really different. And the last one is Wat Arun in Bangkok. We went to Thailand a few years ago and we went to Wat Arun, and it was just a really incredible temple. I think pictures like on the internet don't really do it justice. It definitely is one that you have to see up close. Number 14, my favourite things in everyday life. So the first thing I'm gonna have to say is coffee. I don't think I could live without coffee. Have to have a coffee in the morning. Other thing would be my hair straighteners, because although my hair's gone a bit puffy today because it's so humid, my actual natural hair is even crazier than this. So yeah, definitely need my straighteners to keep my hair in check. And the final thing, probably take for granted, is just being able to like have a shower or a bath whenever I want, access to hot clean water. First thing I do every morning is I have a shower, and yeah, I just can't imagine not having that luxury. Oh, number 15, I really like this one actually. So this is traits in a person. For me, I think it's really important that someone is kind. If someone can't be kind, then they're not a very nice person. I also really rate honesty in a person. Again, if you can't be honest with someone to their face, or you're like two-faced or backstabbing, then I have absolutely no time for people like that. How can you build a friendship or a relationship without honesty? And then the final thing is, I suppose, good sense of humour. I really like to have a laugh. I think if my friends and people that I like hung out with weren't funny, then I would look a bit weird just probably laughing at my own jokes, or just feel really self-conscious that I'm laughing and no one else is laughing. Number 16 is influencers. And don't get me wrong, like I'll have a scroll through Instagram, I like watch YouTube videos and stuff, but I'm not the sort of person that will see something and be like, I have to go and buy that, or I have to dress like this person, or I have to do this makeup, or have this hairstyle or this hair colour. I just think that I am me, and I probably take my influence from my friends and people's opinions and judgments that I trust. I mean, if someone, you know, if one of my close friends said, oh, I've just tried out this shampoo, it worked wonders for me, then I would trust their word on that. Whereas I feel like with influencers, is everything they're kind of selling to you genuine? Okay, so number 17, we have got favourite drinks. So my favourite like fizzy drink, I would say, is Pepsi Max. I really like just the usual standard Pepsi Max. Got to come in a can from the fridge, so it's super cold. My favourite alcoholic drink I would say is probably a raspberry mojito if I had to pick a cocktail. And my favorite like other drink I would say is, I really like the Cool Lime Refresher from Starbucks. They've actually just brought that back for the summer and it's just really refreshing, really nice icy limey drink. Right, so number 18 is top experiences. My first one I've got is actually seeing wild kangaroos when we were in Perth. So we were coming back from this little area called Caversham that was maybe about half an hour or so away from the city centre. I mean, we're driving through like this dirt track thing, and across the field was just this massive herd or pack, I don't know what a group of kangaroos is called, but all these kangaroos just like bouncing through this field, and that was just really amazing to see. The second thing is when we were in Darwin and we experienced an earthquake. It wasn't a bad one at all, like everything was fine. It was just a really bizarre experience, just like the build up to it and then it happening and then everyone afterwards, like the aftermath. It was just really odd. Again, like no one was hurt and everything was fine and what have you, but yeah, that was definitely an experience. And lastly, I think I mentioned it at the start, but going to see Niagara Falls was just really, really amazing. Would highly recommend it. The penultimate one, number 19. So favourite things to watch. And I did say earlier, I don't really watch loads and loads of TV, but my favourite thing to watch is RuPaul's Drag Race. So I really, really love drag queens. Next thing is completely at the other end of the scale is Call the Midwife. I just really enjoy it. I think it's a really good show. I've watched every season so far. And then the final thing that I haven't finished watching yet, but I love, is American Horror Story. I think I pretty much love everything that Ryan Murphy has ever produced. And final one, number 20, is YouTubers. So just as Joe did, I thought I would use this opportunity to tag some fellow YouTubers to hopefully rise to the challenge and do this 20 question tag challenge as well. So I, first of all, am going to tag Yumi, and secondly, I want to tag Detty, who is known as MissAnnThrope on YouTube. Both of you, if you've got a spare half an hour, then yeah, I challenge you to this video. That was really, really fun and definitely got me thinking. As always, if there's anything else you want to know, then just leave me a comment and I'll answer you. Actually, in answer to Joe's query or pondering on her video, so Joe, I am from Bournemouth, which is in the south coast of England, right by the beach. So yeah, just a little bit of information for you there. But as always, thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you did enjoy today's video. If you did, please do give the video a big thumbs up, leave a comment, and if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you again in my next video.